What if you woke up tomorrow and the news wasn't about politics or sports, but about the end of the world? Not in a million years, not next century, but in exactly 24 hours. Scientists have pinpointed the exact moment. The clock is ticking. What would you do? This isn't just a movie plot. It's a thought experiment that reveals so much about what we value. So, let's explore this together. If you had just one day left on Earth, how would you spend it? Imagine the scene. A global announcement. A message broadcast simultaneously in every language, on every screen. A giant asteroid, previously undetected, is on a direct collision course with Earth. Impact is inevitable, and it's scheduled for this time tomorrow. Panic would erupt, of course. Chaos would reign for a few hours, but then something amazing would happen. Humanity would realize that money, power, and grudges are suddenly worthless. All we have left is time. With 24 hours to go, the first thing I think most of us would do is connect. We'd call our parents, our siblings, our long-lost friends. We'd say the things we were always too busy, too proud, or too scared to say. I love you. I'm sorry. You mean the world to me. All the little disagreements and misunderstandings would melt away, replaced by a desperate, beautiful need to reconnect with the people who shaped our lives. The internet wouldn't be for scrolling through memes. It would be a lifeline. A final chance to see the faces and hear the voices of loved ones scattered across the globe. As the clock ticks down to 18 hours, the focus might shift from words to experiences. People would flood out of their homes. Not to loot or riot, but to feel the sun on their skin one last time. To smell the rain-soaked earth, to listen to the birds sing their final songs. Think about it. When was the last time you truly appreciated a sunset? On this last day, every sunset would be watched by billions, a shared moment of breathtaking, heartbreaking beauty. People would gather, not in fear, but in fellowship. Strangers would share food on street corners. Musicians would play impromptu concerts in city squares, their melodies a soundtrack for the world's farewell. Art galleries and museums would throw open their doors, letting everyone soak in the masterpieces of human creativity one last time. We'd try to cram a lifetime of beauty into a few short hours. Imagine walking through the Louvre, hand in hand with someone you love, just gazing at the Mona Lisa, with no crowds, no rush, just a shared sense of wonder at what humanity was able to create. With 12 hours left, half our time is gone. This is when we'd seek comfort and meaning. Many would turn to their faith, finding solace and prayer and community in churches, mosques, temples, and synagogues. They wouldn't be praying for a miracle to stop the inevitable, but for strength, for peace, and for gratitude for the life they were given. It would be a profound display of spiritual unity, a testament to the human need to believe in something larger than ourselves, especially in the face of oblivion. Others might find their church in nature. They would hike to the highest mountain peak they could reach, sit by the ocean and watch the final tides, or simply lie in a field of grass, staring up at the clouds. They would want to say goodbye not just to humanity, but to the planet itself, to thank the Earth for its mountains and oceans, its forests and deserts, for being our one and only home. It would be a pilgrimage of gratitude. As we get down to the final 6 hours, the mood would become more intimate, more personal. The grand, public gatherings would give way to smaller, private moments. Families would come together for one last meal. They'd dust off old photo albums, sharing stories and laughter, maybe a few tears. They'd play their favorite songs, dance in the living room, and hold each other close. These final hours wouldn't be about grand gestures, but about the simple, irreplaceable joy of being with family. This is also when we'd confront our regrets, not with despair, but with acceptance. We'd think about the book we never wrote, the trip we never took, the person we never asked out, and instead of bitterness, there might be a sense of peace, a realization that a perfect life was never the point. The point was the journey, the trying, the loving, the living, even with all its imperfections. In our final moments, we might finally learn to forgive ourselves. Now, the final hour. The world would grow quiet. The frantic energy would fade into a calm, collective stillness. People would be gathered with their chosen few, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes. They would be at their windows or on their rooftops, looking up at the sky, waiting. What would be going through their minds? Gratitude, an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the symphony of experiences that made up their life. The first kiss, the taste of a favorite food, the feeling of accomplishment, the comfort of a hug. In those last moments, I believe humanity would show its true colors. Not fear, but love. Not chaos, but connection. We would face the end, not as billions of individuals, but as one global family, united in our shared fate. The final broadcast wouldn't be one of warning, but one of unity. A message saying, we were here. We lived. We loved, and we are not afraid. The impact would come, and the story of humanity would be over. But the legacy wouldn't be our wars or our divisions. It would be how we spent our last 24 hours. It would be the love we shared, the forgiveness we offered, and the beauty we created and appreciated. Of course, this is just a thought experiment. We're not facing an asteroid tomorrow. But it makes you think, doesn't it? We don't need a doomsday clock to start living this way. We can choose to connect more deeply, to appreciate the small wonders, to forgive ourselves and others, and to live with gratitude, starting right now. We don't have to wait for the last day to live our best one. Let's not wait. Let's not wait. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this made you think, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the big questions of life. What would you do in your last 24 hours? Let me know in the comments below. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.